Welcome back, students. This is our discussion on the topic of D flip-flop. So till now we have observed the working principle of SR flip-flop and JK flip-flop, where we used two inputs, right, along with the feedback input of Q and Q bar. So in D flip-flop we will observe that there is only one input. Okay. One diagram has been shown in the screen. It is a circuit diagram of D flip-flop which has been designed using NAND gate only. There is only one input D and the other input is clock. Okay, so you can observe that from this D input another D bar input has been connected to the next NAND gate, right? That is actually the complemented D input. So now onward we will observe the working principle like the truth table, the characteristic table, the excitation table, everything for D flip-flop. Okay. So now when you will observe the truth table of D flip-flop, it is very simpler form. Okay. So actually there is not much thing. In the truth table of D flip-flop, you can observe that when you are providing input D as 0, you will get your output as 0. When you will provide your D input as 1, you will get your output as 1. Keep in mind obviously that all this thing is working when your clock is high. Okay, when your clock is low, there is no change in the Qn plus 1. That means at that time your Qn plus 1 will be equals to Qn. It is already known to us. Okay, so there is only two row in this truth table for D flip-flop. Now when you will prepare the characteristic table, what you will observe? So till now in every flip-flop, that means for SR and for JK, we observed that our characteristic table was prepared for Qn plus 1, which is a function of two input along with the previous output Qn. But D flip-flop is a single input flip-flop. So that means in this characteristic table, your Qn plus 1 will be dependent on the single input D and the previous output Qn. Okay. So now this Qn is actually irrelevant here because when your clock is high, you will get the same value in Qn plus 1 what you are providing in D. So that means when you are giving D as 0, right, irrespective of the value of Qn, whatever it may 0, whatever it may 1, you will get a 0 in your output. That means in your present output. And when you will provide the D value as 1, at that time you will get the present output value as 1, right? So that means this characteristic table has been prepared here. Next it will come the characteristic equation for the D flip-flop. So how you will prepare the characteristic equation for this D flip-flop? Simply you will target this equation of Qn plus 1. So here you can easily observe that Qn plus 1 is actually directly equal to D, right? So you can directly write here the characteristic equation for Qn plus 1 equals to D. That is the thing we were saying from the initial part of the D flip-flop, that whatever input you will give, you will get the same output. So that means Qn plus 1 equals to D. This is the characteristic equation of D flip-flop. Next is the excitation table. So for excitation table, you will have Qn plus 1, you will have Qn, and you have to find the values of D only. So it is again very normal that irrespective of the value of Qn, you will only identify the value of Qn plus 1 and you will write the value of D. So that means whatever value holds by Qn, that is not relevant here. You will only target whatever value is there for Qn plus 1 and you will write the same value for D, right? So that is the thing has been mentioned in excitation table also. So this is the truth table, characteristic table and excitation table for your D flip-flop. So now clearly you can see that your D flip-flop is basically holding data. Okay, that means The application of D flip-flop is actually to hold the data for the digital circuits, right? Along with it also, this D flip-flop can be used to design the counters, right? Uh, this D flip-flop can be used to create some delay in digital circuit also. So those are the applications of D flip-flop. So next video we will observe the T flip-flop.